Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So I am so excited to share with you my Christmas living room decor. Well, I mean, it's not really full decor, but it's my Christmas trees and then my mantle. I don't care who's judging me. I know it's November. I know that Thanksgiving has not come and gone yet. But I don't care because Christmas just puts me in a good mood. So if you want to see how I decorated my living room Christmas trees this year, just keep watching. Okay, so first things first, as annoying as this is going to be, and it's going to drive me absolutely crazy, but there's really nothing I can do about it, is throughout this video, we're going to be able to see the ring light through the reflection of the television, and it just is what it is. Also, this cord drives me absolutely nuts, but don't you worry because we're going to go ahead and hide that after decorating the Christmas tree, and we're gonna do some garland up on the fireplace mantle, so that will be hidden. So before we actually get started, I wanted to give you guys some details on these trees in case you wanted to get them. They're both from Walmart. Normally I have one really large tree in the middle of my living room, but just the way that my furniture is arranged and everything this year, there's no place for me to have one. And now that I have this fireplace mantle, I thought it would be really pretty if I did two skinnier like pencil trees on the side, and I just think it looks perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So I went on the hunt to find these trees because of course I had exactly what I wanted them to look like in my head. I knew that I wanted them to be flocked. I knew that I wanted them to be 7 feet tall because I went ahead and measured the space. And then I knew that they also couldn't be more than like 2 feet wide, otherwise it just wouldn't fit right on the wall space here that I have. So I looked everywhere. I searched on Walmart.com, which is actually where I ended up getting these, was in store at Walmart because they were sold out at Walmart.com. I looked on Amazon, at Lowe's, at Home Depot, at Michael's, at Hobby Lobby, like everywhere. And if they did have something similar, it was just way too pricey. I refused to spend like $150 on one tree. So these were $79.99 at Walmart. Again, I went to like 3 or 4 different Walmarts and finally found one. I made them hold it for me while I had to go like 3 towns over to find them, but it was so worth the wait. I'm so happy with them. I think they look amazing. Okay, so they are the 7-foot pre-lit Colorado tree, and they are $79. So again, for them being exactly what I was looking for, height-wise, and just how nice and flocked they are, I think $79 is an amazing price, and I'm so happy that I found them. So I went ahead and put them together. I didn't think I needed to spend 20 minutes on film assembling a Christmas tree when we all know how to do that. But now I do have a couple tricks to say while you're doing it. Now, these can get a little bit messy, so while you are putting them together, if you have the space, I would say like a garage or even maybe your driveway or your front yard or something, but if you don't, say you live in an apartment or something, as long as you just do it in the same area, like put one together, fluff it out, put it where you want it to be, and then put the other one together right in the same spot. That way you only have one area to clean up after you're done. Now, a second little tip is while you're fluffing your tree, I would definitely start from the bottom and work your way up, and then just make sure that you're literally touching every single branch, like to really make sure you're doing a good thorough job so that it looks really even and it's just perfect. So I went ahead and sifted through like all 10 of my Christmas bins. Like, it is hot mess express in here, but you know what, this is real life. It is what it is. So this is what I decided to use, and I actually already had all of this stuff because it's kind of my same theme that I've been doing the last couple years. I just have like an overload of everything, but everything is still available because I've seen all of these things this year in Hobby Lobby and Michael's. I found these really pretty light pink, like rose gold picks. I really like these because they have small ornaments attached, and on these pencil trees it's kind of hard to use like larger ornaments like this, which I did end up pulling these out because I figured I could put these like along the bottom where the tree is a little bit wider, but it's just really convenient to have these already on a pick and ready to go. Now these were actually a bundle. You can see how there's like a thicker stem. So when I first got these, you know, they were like 3 or 4 of these on one bundle, and I just cut them off just at the stem so that I could use these as a pick. And I'm pretty positive these are from Hobby Lobby as well. If they're not, then they're from Michael's, but I was just at Michael's today and I didn't see them, so I'm pretty positive they're from Hobby Lobby because I remember seeing them this year. And then these flower stems are from Michael's, and they're actually 50% off right now. So these are the roses. They're really beautiful with the gold glitter on them as well. And then I have these like light pink poinsettias. So what I did is I just took all of my stuff and I just split it right in half directly down the middle to fit half and half, obviously, on one of each tree, and it worked out perfectly. But just in case you guys want to know, if you decide to buy any of this stuff, I used 4 of the roses on each tree and then 2 poinsettias. So my absolute favorite thing to add to my tree is ribbon, and I've actually only been doing this like the last couple years. This will be the second year that I do it, but I think it makes such a big difference, and it also helps because you don't have to add as much decor as you normally would because this is such a big statement. That's also another reason why I really love a flocked tree, is not just the look of it, obviously it's beautiful, but secondly because I feel like you don't have to add as much stuff to it in order to make it look full and put together. So for these particular trees, just the size that they are, I think you could definitely get away with just using 2 bolts of ribbon. Again, this is the first year that I've had these trees, so we're just gonna go ahead and use 2 and see how it works out. So sometimes I feel like people feel really overwhelmed when it comes to the ribbon portion, but it's actually super easy. So I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. So I went ahead and I cut each bolt of ribbon into thirds. I just think that that is the length that works the best. You basically get all the way down the tree 3 times without having to overlap a ton. The main key to this is that you need it to be a wired ribbon. It has to be wired. It will make your life so much easier, and it's gonna look so much better on your tree as well when we start making the loops. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys, so I zoomed the camera in up at this weird angle. So basically you can see that this is the very top of the tree here. That's not where we're gonna start the ribbon. We're gonna start the ribbon on these first little branches that come out at the top. The way you're gonna wanna do your loop is you're just gonna loop it over, actually I don't like that, like a little bit flatter of a loop, like this, and then kind of crunch it together. And then when you get up there, you're just gonna wrap the branch like a hook. So you don't have to go all the way around, but just like a hook around it to kind of get it started. So can you guys see that? Can you see that there's like a loop up there? Yeah, you can. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna kind of do the exact same thing all the way around your tree, and you're gonna hook each loop with one of the branches. Obviously this is really only gonna work on a fake tree. There's all different ribbon techniques. This is just my favorite one. I think it's the easiest. I think it looks the nicest, especially on a fake tree. It just, the time goes by so quickly. You don't have to go like in a row. You can move it over. I kind of just like to go whichever the way the ribbon kind of starts to fall. The reason that the wire ribbon is going to make your life so much easier is because while you're putting it on your tree, no matter how it gets bent, you can always go back and reshape the loops, just because obviously the wire allows you to do that and allows you to form it any way that you want. I went ahead and did the second tree off camera just because I didn't want to bore you, so hopefully this demonstration is enough for you guys to kind of get the hang of it. Just making the same top loop that I did before, switching it together. I'm going to start a little further down, wrap it around the branch, and just continue on doing the exact same thing. So like I said before, I cut each bolt of ribbon into 3 pieces, and I actually ended up having a couple little holes on the tree, so I had an extra bolt and I cut those into probably like 2-foot length pieces, and I used those to just fill in any places where I felt like there was a hole or where it just needed to be added. Now the way the ribbon is falling, again, I'm just going to continue on with it. It's going to overlap, and that's fine. I will say that when they do overlap, I like to kind of connect them into the same spot. That way it doesn't look as sloppy. So I'll just tuck it into the same little branch that I made for these. So while you guys are doing this, you may look at it and think this does not look fabulous, or it might look a little sloppy. Sloppy is not really the right word, but it's just not going to look uniform. But once you keep going and once you get it all on there, once you have all your other decor on your tree, it really is going to look great. And honestly, at the end of the day, you don't want the ribbon to look perfect. You want it to look more effortless. So again, once you get everything on there, you're really going to love the result. I promise it's going to look great. This is the area that I felt like needed just some more ribbon on that left-hand side. So as you can see, I'm working with a much shorter piece. This is one of those pieces that I cut that I was saying that I cut into 2-foot pieces, and I just kind of placed it in the areas that were bare. All right, so now that all the ribbon is done, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding our flowers. Now, a little tip while doing this is to kind of zigzag them. That way you don't end up, whoopsie, lost the head there. That way you don't end up with flowers that are in a straight line. And again, I would use, if you have the poinsettias like I do, where the heck is it? Use it more on the bottom because it's gonna look better because it's fatter on the bottom. A little suggestion when working with these flowers is all of the stems were extremely long. So if you have wire cutters, that's just the way that I would suggest to cut them because they are thick. I would cut them in half, if not more. Like you could even stand to go shorter if you wanted to. Another thing is to be very aware of when you're doing the placement of your florals is to make sure that they're as flush with the tree branches as you can possibly get them. I know it sounds silly, but you would really be surprised how much it changes the way your tree looks if the florals are even sticking out the slightest bit, like even a ½ inch, you'll notice the difference. Now that all the flowers are added to the tree, I'm going to go in and add these picks, the ones that have like the small little ornaments on them that I showed you guys in the beginning. And in case you were wondering, I am using 9 of them on each tree, and I'm just literally sticking them in so randomly, but obviously evenly spread throughout the whole tree. So adding these picks along with the next picks as well is kind of the part in the decorating process that your tree should start to come together. You should start to look at it and get excited. At least I know that's what happens to me. The picks are essentially just to add more texture to your tree, a little bit more detail. As you can see, I kind of like to place them so that they're sticking out a little bit. I just think it really adds a higher end element. All right, it is the home stretch. I wanted to mention to you guys as well that I don't ever really put a topper on my tree. I just don't really think it needs it. Maybe if I did, I would do like a simple star. But obviously this is your tree, so go ahead and feel free to add whatever your little heart desires. So a little tip that is gonna save you some money is instead of buying tree skirts, you should buy throw blankets, because you can get throw blankets for like 15 bucks. And then especially for these smaller pencil trees, you literally just wrap it around the bottom of the tree. It looks so pretty and you're not spending a fortune, especially if you have multiple trees in your home. It's also very easy to do. I basically just grab 2 corners and then connect them in the back and shape it the way I want. So now that the trees are finished, let's work on this garland. Now this garland that I have, again, this is the first year that I had a flocked tree, so my garland obviously matches my things from past years, and I couldn't really find one that was flocked enough that I really liked, so I just ended up keeping this garland, and I found these bundles at Michael's, so I just cut them into pieces, like 3 or 4 pieces each bundle, and they are going to look something like this, and then I'm just gonna stick them in. It might take a little bit of you finagling and playing around with the pieces for it to look exactly the way that you want it, and that is okay. Sometimes you just have to take a step back, look at it with fresh eyes, and keep going. So for me, My main concern was trying to hide that television cord, so I spent a little extra time there trying to do that. But I did figure it out, and I think it ended up turning out pretty nice. So here are the trees all finished. I went ahead and dimmed the lights, that way you guys could see just how pretty they really are. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.